How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
What up, everybody? Looks like we're having some difficulty with Ramiro.
What is up?
But I appreciate it coming.
Jeez, starting right off the bat with some connectivity issues, huh? Like everything's fine.
Then as soon as we go live, that's when we have issues.
Yeah, it just waits.
Yep.
It just waits until we go live. But welcome everybody to Story of the Fight. My name is Ramiro. That's my boy Will. And this is Story of the Fight where we have connectivity issues. We're dealing with, I'm not even connected to Wi-Fi right now. It's all hardwired in. But still, we talk mixed martial arts. If you like, please follow, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It goes a long way. Am I still chopping in and out, Will?
You're a little choppy, but it's all good, dude. Nothing we can't manage. It'll smooth out.
All right,
smooth
man.
For 30 minutes before we went live, so it should smooth up.
I know. I have no idea what the heck is going on, dude.
It's
but
good
anyways, hey, what if somebody's looking for us, Will? Where can they find us?
Yeah, storythefight.com. It'll list all our social medias. It's also at Story the Fight on everything: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, Twitch, Vero, Blue Sky, Threads, everything. Story the Fight. If you go to storyfight.com, it'll list it all. You can click through, hit follow. We are almost to 9K subscribers on YouTube. We also have our merch. We'll be on storythefight.com if you want some shirts, some hoodies, some beanies. Rep the podcast. Rep your boy Andrew Toasty.
Love it.
Got a collab shirt on
coming up soon, huh?
Yeah, we're a month away, man.
Month away, man. All right. Well, hey. Speaking of fights, we had a couple fights this last weekend. We started off with UFC. We started off with one because we're going to cover a few different organizations, right? We're even covering some LFA fights. Yeah,
so if you're here with us live, we're going to talk about UFC Vegas 80. Then we're going to switch over to One Fight Night 15, and then we'll talk about LFA 169. We're not going to talk about Bellator 300, most likely, just for the sake of time. And then if you're coming back to this post and you're not watching live, timestamps down below for whatever fight you want to listen to.
Nice. So I guess we're going to start off with UFC then. We had your boy Bobby Green, man. You've been repping Bobby Green for the longest time, right? Bobby Green went up against Grant Dawson last night in the main event. Props to Bobby Green getting another main event yet again. Grant Dawson, most would consider him the most exciting fighter in the world.
No, but they did consider him the dark horse.
Yes. I think Bobby Green was like the plus 380 favorite, was he? I mean, plus 380 underdog,
Yeah, and I think Dawson was like a minus 500, I think. Crazy odds. Grant Dawson, very talented, great wrestler, great top game, great pressure, all this stuff. Bobby Green, not known for his grappling necessarily in MMA.
No.
So everyone was like, look, Grant Dawson's going to take him down. He's going to grind him out, either sub him or control him for the whole 5 rounds. Shout out Genevieve coming in saying, oh man, Bellator prelims were amazing, but the main card sucked.
Oh,
standard Bellator right there. Standard Bellator. I saw some cool stuff, Cyborg, all this stuff. Bellator 300, they got the gold gloves. It was cool. But I mean, yeah, they took the main event out. Ryan Bader was the main event. His opponent pulls out, and instead of finding a replacement, Viacom said, actually, we'd rather just not pay the purses for the fighters, so can we just scrap it? And Bellator was like, you got it. We're going under anyways. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. But Bellator 300, shout out Bellator. They've been there. Scott Coker, Strikeforce, all that stuff. But Bobby Green versus Grant Dawson. Nobody gave Bobby Green really a chance in this one. Instead, he went out there and punched him once and won.
Yeah, I mean, this is classic Bobby Green too, right? Like you're talking classic Bellator earlier. Now talking UFC, this is classic Bobby Green where he walks around with his hands down to the point where you're his opponent. You're like, dude, this guy has his hands down. I think I could catch him. I think if I extend just a little bit, Like, you know, he leans
He
back.
can't
I
be
think I
that
can catch him.
fast.
Yeah, and then you swing at him, and you're like, oh, he's not there anymore. And
Yeah.
Bobby Green, dude, again, does an excellent job rolling with the punches. Does an excellent job, you know, just evading shots with quick, like footwork back. And then his punches are so fast, man, shooting from the hip. That's where, you know, he's in southpaw position, you know, and he's like doing his little thing, dude, hands down, and then from the hip, straight left, boom, that's the shot. Perfect timing, Rich.
Yeah, the only punch that landed
in the background.
Yeah, shout out Rich. So it's twofold. The hands down below. If you're fighting a wrestler, you kind of want them down there a little bit, just because if they shoot, you can get the underhooks quick. You know, you're ready to defend a takedown with them down there. But then also, like when you're striking and you're throwing from the hip like that, it's harder to see it coming. It's coming from an angle that you're not used to seeing. So it's tricky. The exchange right before this, Grant Dawson threw a jab, and Bobby threw like a combo that it missed. But the way Grant reacted to that combo, it was like, you know, when there's like the swatting at flies defense, you know, where you're not quite parrying the shot because it's a combo. It's almost like you're trying to block the shots before they get there. And he's like, he kind of like put his head back and like did this and like skirted away. And I was like, ooh, Grant Dawson's not feeling himself in the striking in this fight. And then the next exchange, he got caught. There was also, you know, Bobby Green is one of those guys that I think has to trash talk to fight his fight. You know, he has to find something, all this stuff. They had a little discussion at the weigh-ins, and then they're in the cage, and Grant Dawson, he's like, "Are we gonna touch gloves?" And then it cuts back to Bobby Green. He's just staring him down. He's like, all right, never mind. And then when they brought him together for the face-off in the cage before the fight started, again, Dawson's like, he like stuck his hand out, like,
cool, man?
You shake hands, and then Bobby Green's just like, and I was like, man, Dawson really wants that. I think he's really trying to be cool, and you know, there's always the mental game and stuff. But
do you think that messed with him a little bit?
Maybe a little bit. He seems like a really nice guy, Grant Dawson.
He's like, why doesn't he like me?
Yeah. I haven't done anything to him.
Yeah.
And yeah. But the other thing too, I see people, one of the top comments on Reddit for the thread for this fight, because they always post like the finish of the fight as its post, right? One of the top comments was like glass chin or something like that. And it's like, dude, can we just talk about how cool the punch was and like not talk shit about the punch or the chin or the ability to take the shot? Because
he got caught.
And people were like, he got dropped by basically a jab. And it's like, since when is a cross basically a jab? It's literally like, yeah, the 1 and the 2 are the same. It might as well be the same thing.
Yeah,
totally different.
God.
And like you said, the way he
got caught. It happens, dude. Yeah. It was a power shot, man.
Yeah, and they're open stance, right? So Bobby was southpaw, Grant Dawson was orthodox. So in those matchups, it's a lot harder to land your jab than it is to land your cross. And Dawson was out there trying to jab, and Bobby Green just out there crossing, you know, dropped him, finished him real quick, and then 33-second knockout, you know.
I was like, how like going into the fight, they always show the video, you know, of the fighters talking, and Dawson's like, I'm the worst possible matchup for him. And I was thinking, I was like, I don't know, man. Like, Green's he's a tough matchup for you, bro. Like he's, you know,
and you know, Green unranked going into this. Grant Dawson ranked number 10. So it's like,
well, there you go.
Bobby Green's back in the rankings on a fight that a lot of people weren't picking him for. But I had to include this picture, right, because he does the spray when he gets announced, and then the next picture is no nonsense. Dealing with some nonsense, trying to dodge some of this spray.
Oh yeah, dude.
He's
he was
like,
pissed.
Come on, man.
He was
so
pissed.
funny, dude.
It was hilarious. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Find a different celebration, you know? Something that doesn't spit all over people.
Yeah, dude. Blunderbub, shout out Blunderbub, says, worth it to watch Bellator every once in a while to hear John McCarthy roasting judges. Yeah, that's about the only thing he's good for in the booth. No disrespect, but he should not be commentating. But he is great at anytime there's like a weird thing that happens, which happens a lot, like with rules or like something like that, he just goes off, and it is pretty hilarious to listen to him.
It'd be awesome to bring him into the UFC to be like one of those side guys that like every once in a while they're like, hey, we're going over to John McCarthy about this decision. What do you think?
They always go to Metzger, right?
Yeah, but when's the last time you watched an NFL game?
Oh, dude, I don't even know. It's been years, maybe like a decade.
All the best referees have been poached from the NFL, and now they work for major organizations like CBS, NBC, ESPN, and they're sitting off in the booths. And so whenever there's a flag, like, hey, I don't know what you see there, and the ref comes in and explains, like, hey, well, this is the way I would call it, and this is why. Right?
Damn.
Like,
So are the games worse now because all the good refs got pulled out?
It's so funny you say that because there's a little like 2 years there where it was like, oh, rough calls.
Really?
And the ones in the booth are like, well, man, that was a terrible call. It's like, well, yeah, no shit, dude, because you should be down there actually. There. Like, you should be officiating. Like, classic.
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, that'd be awesome to have John McCarthy in there like that.
That would be cool. Yeah. He's like, how many times does he have to pull the I helped make the rules card, He's the guy.
Yeah.
One rope says, didn't think it was that hard to count to 30. It's tough, man. You can't judge a fight and be a mathematician,
All right. We ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah. I mean, it was a 30-second fight. Props to Bobby Green. That's the boy.
For sure. All right. Co-main event was Joe Pyfer versus Abdul Razak Alhassan.
Joe Pyfer is the real deal, man. He really is.
Dude, I like him.
Yeah, you know better than everybody that anytime there's a guy that Dana's pushing, I'm usually on the opposite side. Not this time. Not this time.
Dude, I just love the fact, like, so he comes out a little wild, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's fucking massive too.
He is massive, especially for the weight class. But when he comes in a little wild. After maybe like 15 seconds, he settles down. And the thing that I love about Pyfer is that he's just very technical, very efficient, very little wasted energy, man. Straight shots instead of looping shots, right?
Yeah.
Solid takedowns. Just like there's nothing very much about Pyfer that's like super flashy about him, but everything he does, he just does really well.
Yeah, the left body kick was awesome. Was it left body kick, right body kick? Whatever the body kick was amazing. It was just clean, mechanically sound, snap to it. He brings it right back. His hands are up when he's throwing it. Whenever Abdul would shell up, and he's just lighting him up with the straight punches, and then hooking around and never didn't leave himself there. Didn't extend the combination too much, right? Because you're always worried that shell is going to turn into a counter. Mixing in the takedowns, every time he mixed it in, it looked effortless, but he didn't just spam takedowns. Like, it's a very good performance. This showed a lot, I think, for a lot of people.
It did. Shout out Monster Tony saying body bags is one of the most accurate nicknames. That is a good nickname.
Yeah, that is
for Pyfer. It's a good nickname.
Right body.
Yeah, by the way, so he after he's on top of Alhassan, he lands that triangle, right? And
the arm triangle, yeah.
The arm triangle. And it's an awkward thing because, like, you could tell Alhassan's kind of thinking about it. He's like, dude, am I going to have to tap? Am I going to, like, he's thinking, like, through the process. And then he taps, but with the closed fist.
Yeah. Can't do that.
And then I think
not
it's
to
Smith,
the side.
Right? Was it Smith that goes over and
who was on this one?
He sees that and he leans down and he's like, "Are you tapping?"
Yeah.
And he's like,
"Can't answer."
Yeah. He's like, I was like, "Bro,
yeah."
But right now.
It was cool, that last picture. He kind of flashed that in the first round when he clinched with him with the standing arm triangle, and I was like, "Ooh, that's nice, right?" Like, what was her name? Can't remember. She just fought Zhang Weili. But yeah, he flashed it, and then that slam, dude. Lemos, right? Was it Lemos that got the standing arm triangle?
I don't remember.
I think it was. But that slam where he picked him up, dropped him, and Abdul posted, and then when he put his hand down, I was like, no! I thought we were about to see an arm break.
Yeah, me too.
And then he immediately hops over, goes for the arm triangle. Abdul did a good job of turning his body to try to align the left side of his body with the fence, because if you're Pyfer, you need to get onto that side of the body. And if the fence is there, then you can't put the pressure. But there was just enough. And then, the tap was, I've never seen that before. Someone tapped with a punch, because it's like, as a ref, how do you stop it? It's a choke, so it doesn't really matter as much, but he went out.
And, the thing is, like, you can kind of tell it's a tap, right?
It looked like it, but do you want to be the guy who...
He's like, boom, boom, boom. Instead of like like actually trying to like wind his like shot of him, trying to like dig in. He was like tap tap tap, but also just if you can open up that fist.
Yeah, but also if you're Mark Smith and you stop that, and then he immediately is like, "I was punch. It's a punch, man. We're fighting," and then you're like, "Damn," like it's a choke. It's not like his arm was gonna break or anything like that. So it's like worst case scenario goes
but you
out.
can see like when he goes out and his body just
you can see his
like
soul leave his body.
Oh my god, it was crazy. Hey, shout out Toasty. Toasty says,
"Shout out Toasty.
I made it." There's
a
takedown. Look at. Oh my god, it was so good. Yeah, but to your point, when he tried to post on that arm, I was thinking like that thing's gonna snap. It's gonna snap. Didn't snap, man. Instead, he just went to sleep.
Held up.
Yeah, good for him.
Look at Mark Smith too. Just like, God damn.
Yeah.
He just woo.
And I think this is where he was like, "Are you tapping?" And then, it sounds like gargling and like sleeping and snoring. So, good times, dude. Good times. But hey, Joe Pyfer, real deal. Win. Yeah, and I believe Dana said the flag ban has been removed.
Yeah,
fighters can now bring their flags in, right?
And I like how he's like, if you get offended by a flag, then like that's your problem. And it's like, hey man, you're the one that banned it. What are you talking about?
Oh, hilarious. So funny. All right, let's move on to the previous fight. There we had Joaquin Buckley versus Alex Morono. I thought this was a really good test for Joaquin Buckley. He's like, he pulls off these amazing victories, and he like has other fights where he gasses out a little bit early and loses on decisions. You just don't know what Buckley you're going to get, but he's fighting down now at 170, right, which I think is the perfect weight class for him.
That's where he should be. 100%.
He's still coming in ripped.
Could you imagine this guy
seems to have power?
Could you imagine someone like him fighting like Alex Phetjeeja at middleweight? Like he just doesn't have he's jacked. Obviously, he's a massive guy, Buckley, but like not for one.
It would not go well.
No. There's some giants. I mean, look at Pyfer. This guy's in the same division as Pyfer? I don't think so.
Yeah. No. You're absolutely right, man. But hey, looked good. I said, one of the concerns. I know. One of the concerns that I had always had about Buckley was just his gas tank, but he seemed to hold up really well this entire fight, man. Yeah,
and I wanted to point out too before we talk about the beatdown, but the first 2 rounds I really liked the stuff that Morono was doing. There was times where like you said, you're worried about the gas tank. So what does Morono do? He's throwing that front kick to the body like over and over again. That's a good move for somebody not just who you think maybe will fade, but also someone who charges in like that. You want to just stab them in the body and use their own momentum against them. I thought that was a good move from Morono. I thought his vision in the first 2 rounds looked really good, where he's seeing these big shots coming. How
about his work off his back,
dude? And that was the last thing I was going to mention. Is dude, he goes to his back, he goes for an armbar. Buckley has to defend it. And as he pulls out of the armbar, he switches to triangle. He has to defend the triangle. And once he gets out of the triangle, he still has the wrist control on both arms. And he starts trying to kick him with his heel with the up kicks because Buckley snapped him. But he can't get out because he still has the wrist control from the triangle attempt. And it's just, man, Morono. I liked some of the stuff that Morono was doing. It was just Buckley was just too much. And I think if you're looking at that game plan with that front kick to the body, I think that his camp also was hoping that Buckley would fade as the fight continued, and he just didn't. He was there the whole time. So I think it was just, it's just one of those days, but Buckley was just a bit too much for him because that 3rd round, he was smoking him.
Buckley just reminds me so much of Tyson back in the day, where he's got the exact same build. Yes, when he slips as he's charging in, he does that, and just if he drops down to the bottom right, he comes up with a big right hook. You know what I mean? Like everything's in motion all together, man. Like he links everything together.
Yeah,
it's so much fun to watch, dude. I mean, probably not from the angle that Morono's at right there. Probably not fun to watch. Yeah, no.
That 3rd round was tough, man.
Yeah,
he was getting the break. That's a 10-8
do you think Buckley lost some power going in? Like at 170?
No, I think Morono's tough as nails, dude.
That's what I was gonna say. He probably just has a really good chin and was able to eat those shots more than anything, but because he was wearing it for sure.
Yeah, I mean the 3rd round was tough. He was in the fight the first 2, and the 3rd round was all Buckley. I did see some people saying disappointed Buckley couldn't get Morono out of there, but I think that's more of a credit to Morono more so than a diss on Buckley. I think he's a savage dude.
For sure. I agree.
He's game.
Props to Buckley. Sad to see Morono lose, but a couple of fun fighters there. But yes,
sure.
Buckley walking away with the W. Man, before that, we talked about the fact that you've been a fan of Green for a while, right? But somebody that we've both been cheering on for a while, Will. Somebody that's fun to watch. Somebody that has a granite chin. Somebody that has power,
the
speed.
crimson chin.
Somebody that has great looks. You know, just a handsome devil. You got Drew Dober going up against Ricky Glenn. He is, dude. He's a handsome devil out there making beautiful babies in the world. You know what I mean? If you see his baby at the fight, that was awesome.
Yeah, Monster Tony says Buckley was winging punches, could kept them straight and finished. Yeah, and I think that helped Morono see the punches a lot better too. His vision looked so good the first couple rounds, and partly because he winds up so much and he can kind of duck under him. But yeah, Dober bringing the family. I remember when he had his baby, and he's like, I think Diablo came out. He like posted a picture of him playing Diablo, and he was like with the baby or something like that. He seems like a cool guy, Drew Dober.
That's so sick, dude.
Not to mention, he is put on this planet by the Just Bleed gods.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Guaranteed banger.
Yeah, win or lose, this dude is. I mean, when I saw someone in the comments who was like, "What class are you playing in Diablo?" And he's like, "Barbarian." And it's like, yeah, obviously, dude. That's who he is in real life. Like, I mean, he couldn't miss too. Man. He could not miss in this fight.
And you know what's that? The bettor's name that goes on there and talks
Minty
about
bets?
Yeah, is she the one that always gets call outs from the fighters?
No. That's a YouTuber.
Oh, okay.
And like some Instagram dude. I don't know what that's all about.
She said, "Hey,
James
I like
Krause
Dober." Yeah. It's James Krause a burner account.
Yeah,
it's a burner account, dude. James Krause. But hey, she calls Dober by KO, right? And she said, "Hey, I like those numbers." I think it was like minus 160 or something like that. And
she
I was
also
like,
picked Dawson, so she could use my number. But yeah, I mean, this was a good bounce back fight for Drew Dober. You know, it's crazy because you have the guy in Drew Dober fighting on this card, who is headlined by the guy he just knocked out, who is now ranked, and Drew Dober's not. It's kind of crazy how matchups work, but this was big for Dober. And then he calls out, he's like, "Yeah, I got my baby," and it shows him, and then she's like, "She's beautiful. She looks a little like me though." And his wife's like expression changes. She's like, "What?" It's so funny, dude.
Classic, man. Yeah, it was a great post-fight interview. Hey, how about that like gnarly glove grab when Glenn was off his back? Like he sunk his fingers in and was like holding on to him. And I was like, "Hey, let's hop in there a little bit faster and get that cleared up, huh?"
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's what they say.
I guess, man. But props to Drew Dober. Congratulations on the baby, beautiful baby. And dude, I just love watching him fight. Every single time.
Not, man. He's just such a every time he fights, it's must watch. Monster Tony says, "How deep is the division when our favorite fighters are just outside the top 15?" Yeah, seriously, dude.
See, that's why I love having like Blunderbug, Genevieve, Toasty, Monster Tony hop on. You know, when they all hop on, because the description right there is money.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about 100%. The fact that we're talking about Drew Dober right now is one of our favorite fights to watch, must-watch TV.
And he's not even ranked.
My guy's not fighting for a title here next week or in the next month or anything like that, you know, but we tune in to watch him every single time.
Didn't Dana just talk about how he wants to extend the rankings to 20 now? Which I think is a good move.
It is.
I think that's a good move. It's probably, I saw the top comment was like, this is just them being able to justify Conor being ranked for his comeback fight in the top 20. But I think it is a good idea, especially for some of these divisions like bantamweight, lightweight. You know, like it's crazy that some of these guys aren't ranked when they're clearly just like incredible fighters. You know.
Oh, for sure, man. And I think the last one we're going to cover for UFC right now, just for the sake of time, is Vanessa Demopoulos versus. No, I'm just kidding. Classic. Yo, girl, Vanessa Demopoulos. Rich, you saw that video, by the way, Vanessa Demopoulos
telling me to stop being so grumpy.
Yeah,
she said, "Stop being so grumpy, Will. Stop being a grumpy boy." I think she said.
Yeah. Hey, rare appearance from Rich.
But it made me grumpier. And then when she wins the decision, and it's like, how did she win when she just kept getting taken down, and she fought the whole fight off of her back, and then she got the decision. Tosi says, "I wish DC dropped her." Yeah, Bisping definitely tried to. He was just like, my hands are at my side. There's no way I'm holding you up. But yeah, we can move on to
all right.
Bill
Bill Algeo versus Alexander Hernandez. What do you think about that fight, Will?
Dude, this is a great fight, honestly. Hernandez, he's so talented, but he gets in this rhythm where it's like he I don't know, it's like he's fighting an instructional or something, where he's just like, he does all the right things. He has like the footwork, he has like the shot placement and the setups and stuff like that. But like he just does that for the whole fight, and it's not like he's not like fighting. If that makes it sounds so weird to say, but like
not adjusting through the fight based off of what Algeo's doing.
Maybe he's just in his zone and he's doing his thing, and it's like, and if the guy's head manages to be there, then great. And it's like he just looks so good, like with his movement and stuff like that. But it's like, it's almost like he's fighting. It's like he's in a mirror. You know what I mean? Like he's just like, he's just moving on his own. And it's like, I don't know. It's something weird. Like he just can't quite like put it on the guy. And but he looks so good. He's so talented, clearly. And then Bill Algeo's the complete opposite, where he looks so unorthodox and he's moving weird in ways that maybe shouldn't work, but he finds a way to land on you. And I think it was just like, complete opposite styles,
Yeah, man. Hernandez, dude. We talked earlier about Buckley and how we're not sure exactly which Buckley's going to show up. Although Buckley's always in good fights, I feel like,
killer be killed.
Hernandez, there's so many times that there's a fight where Hernandez hops on and the announcers and Hernandez, when he interviews with announcers, talks about his headspace.
I made it
like the fact that he continues. The fact that Hernandez continues talking about his headspace, the changes that he's making, and be in the right space mentally, and all these things, make me realize like he's still in the wrong headspace. You have to continue talking about the headspace that you're in, and how you're the things that you're doing to get out of this bad headspace. It's rough, man, and I really do think it's all up here, all up in his head. For
do you think
Hernandez,
it changed when he met the? Do you think it changed when he met the brick wall of Donald Cerrone, when he was talking a bunch of shit and he got dog walked by him? And
well, think about it, man. What was his record when he went up against Cerrone? Because it
was good, dude. It was good. He was like up and coming.
Yeah,
it was to the point where it was like, man, this is a bad matchup for Cowboy.
He was 10-1.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was 10-1 when he went up against Cerrone. Before that, he beat Olivier Mercier. That's what a name. He beat Beneil Dariush, dude.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like he looked like he had all the right things,
like
and
world beater.
He was talking so much shit to Cowboy, and then he was like, I'm gonna retire him, all this stuff, and then Cowboy just fucking murked him, dude. And I think like mentally, dude, after talking all that shit, because you never want to be the guy on those videos that have millions of views where it's like when shit talking goes wrong and it's you talking a bunch of shit about the guy and then he just beats the brakes off of you. Like, you never want to be that guy. I can't imagine what that would be like, and then since then
he beats Francisco Trinaldo after that, right? So you're like, okay, maybe he's now 10-2, loses to Drew Dober, the male model Drew Dober. Then he beats Chris Gritzmacher, loses to Thiago Moises. So he's like one loss, one win, one loss, one win. And then he beats Mike Breeden, then loses to Renato Moicano, Billy the Kid Quarantillo, and Bill Algeo.
He's been 4-5 since the Cowboy fight. He was 10-1, and since then 4-5. It's tough, man. But Bill Algeo is also very good. He had the shifting left hand that he kept
Billy
landing.
Quarantillo.
Yeah, dude. Both those guys. Both
Renato
Bills,
Moicano.
Man. Really good.
Thiago Moises. I mean, okay, now that I'm thinking about it, he's losing to pretty good people.
He loses to good guys, right? Dober, Moises, Moicano, Quarantillo, and then now Algeo. But you look at the wins, and it's like Gritzmacher, Mike Breeden, Jim Miller, who we all love him, but let's be real,
he's 60
years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bill Algeo looked so good with that shifting left hand. There was a couple times Hernandez set up the right hand by going to the body first, and then later on he'd have the same entry, but he'd go up top and he'd catch Algeo. But yeah, Algeo's Algeo has magnets in his hands. He's so good at finding angles and tagging you from weird spots that you don't see coming, and he's relentless. That's why he called out Billy Quarantillo after this, and it's like, let's do it, dude. That fight is good. That's a fun
down
fight.
with that fight. What's up with that eye poke that
Billy next?
The first round?
It was the knuckle. Like if you're in a fist,
Yeah.
it was like this part of his thumb, but he was in a fist, so it's like you call that a punch, and then it happened again, I think, but it was extended. I don't know. The replays couldn't quite show it in a clear. I couldn't really see it in the replays.
I go back to the whole thing. You know, I've been on video a few times talking about how I hate it when fighters are the ones that ask for the stoppage.
Yeah, don't call
and then the ref stops it, even if they don't, see it. It's rough, man. Like that's a perfect example. That was a punch. Let it keep going.
Let it keep going.
Why not? All right. I believe that's the last thing. Oh, wait. No. One last thing I want to cover. Hold on. From that fight, Algeo, right, decides to go on Max Holloway, points at the ground, like telling Hernandez, like, dude, let's
then shoots for a takedown.
And then he takes him down. And I was like, what is that, dude? You don't point down to the ground and say, hey, let's just, swing and bang. And the dude starts swinging. You're like, he's swinging a little too hard. Let me take him down real quick.
Yeah.
He lost points for me, dude. He should have been disqualified at that point, I think.
Yeah, lose my number.
We're
rooting for the other Billy now in the next fight.
Oh, 100%, dude. 100%. Because the other Billy, if he points on the ground, he's throwing down.
He's throwing down.
Yeah. Just Billy Quarantillo. Just if you see Algeo pointing down, don't fall for it.
Yeah, get rid of the shot. Toasty has the same energy as a fake love touch.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Not good.
100%. Yeah. All right. I think that was the last fight we were covering. Now we're going to move on, right? What are we covering? One fight night?
One fight night 15.
Awesome, man. Yeah. So another one event. And I believe the main event. It was, huh? That's right.
Yeah.
We just had Rotang. And
we just had no, we just had
oh no. It was
Stamp versus Ham.
Fairtex, that's right. But yeah, so we have let me see. It was Lee versus Freymanov. Freymanov.
Dude. Tan Lee, man. UFC fucked up not signing him, dude. Super fucked up. He I think he fought on the Contender Series, was it? They didn't give him a contract. Now they hand him out like crazy. He's clearly, he was the champ at one for a while. He fought Gary Tonin, right? Gary Tonin went for that leg lock, and he just blasted him, knocked him out, going for the leg lock. He's been a good champ for one. Then he loses his belt to Tankai, and then Freymanov was supposed to be fighting Tankai in this one for the belt, and then Tankai missed weight. I think that's what it was. I think it was Freymanov who was supposed to fight him. It could have been Tan Lee for a rematch. I don't remember now, but Tankai got injured. They booked this fight, Tan Lee versus Freymanov, for the interim belt. And it's such a good matchup, dude. Freymanov's such a killer. Tan Lee's so fun to watch.
Can I just say, I love when they do the face-offs on the rooftop with that background. Yeah. It's so sick.
Yes, it is cool, dude. Up with the skyline. Shout out Cyrus.
That's amazing.
He's up there.
What?
But yeah, dude. So it's been a cool run. Freymanov's a savage, right? He joined the military when he was 12 or something like that, 12 or 14, and then he's just a killer, dude. And Tan Lee has just been growing his arsenal. Taekwondo guy originally, right? And now he's training with Ryan Hall. Defended the leg lock against Gary Tonin, who's a master at it, right? And then this fight, they're swinging at each other a couple times, and you're like, okay, we're heating up a little bit. And then Freymanov shoots on him. Tan Lee Victor rolls for the leg and immediately starts attacking heel hooks. And you're like, this is sick. He gets to that 50-50 position. Freymanov defends the first time, but he's not out. Tan Lee recovers, gets the heel hook, and then that's a wrap. And he was in pain, dude. Those submissions, man, they look so gnarly when they screaming while they tap. It's so gnarly.
Yeah, but it was a beautiful transition, man. The way that he just flowed into that, and I think Blunderbuff says it best. Lee grabbing the leg like a starving dog with a bone.
Yeah, dude, getting it.
Held on for dear life. Because there's a few times you're like, okay, I think Freymanov's going to be able to pull the leg out here, and just the way that he would had that death grip around the ankle just to make sure that he wouldn't be able to take it out, and he tucks it in. I was like, oh man, that's solid. Yeah, but it was a solid night from Lee. I don't know about the post fight interview. I was like, man, but other than that, dude.
I do dig the the snow angels and the gold confetti. That's fucking sick.
I'm down with that.
That's so sick.
I'm down with that. I did like his Mr. Chow impression.
Yeah.
When he was behind the belt,
Yeah.
that was good. That was good. I like that.
Yeah.
But dude, it was a impressive performance, dude.
Yeah, and it's cool. You walk out there with Ryan Hall, and then you get a heel hook. That's got to feel good, man. It's got to feel real good
for Ryan Hall too.
Yeah, well, Ryan Hall looks unfazed by everything. He's just there, just like
that was his excited face.
Yeah,
come on, that was his excited face.
The confetti is so sick. They went hard with it too.
Huge fan of the gold confetti.
Real quick, let's see. I just like the attacks. The Victor roll was so clean. I'm gonna show this really quick, Rich.
Do you have a clip?
Got a clip.
Oh, look at
that.
He
rolls for it. Freymanov did a good job, right? He escapes.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, he's pretty safe.
Okay.
And then Tan Lee just kept going for it.
Then right here, where is it? Right there. That's where I was like, okay, he's gonna get his leg out, and he grabs on to the ankle. Grabs onto the ankle. Yeah. Awesome job there by Lee. All right. Anything else on that main event?
No. So now they'll do the rematch, right? Tan Lee versus Tank Kai. I like that they did the face off, but they were super respectful during it. And just like they were like stoked to see each other and like, all right, this is gonna be good. Because the first fight was good, dude. And yeah, it's a fun fight. Tank Kai versus Tan Lee.
Blunderbuff says, man is 38.
It's the power of one,
All right. We had DiBella versus Williams before that.
Yeah, DiBella, right? Former boxer. Now he's kickboxing. Daniel Williams is like the go-to. Like, hey, we need someone to fight these savages. And Daniel Williams is like, I'm down. Always. I mean, the guys now face Rod Tank, Super Leg, DiBella. Like, he's getting in there, man. And to his credit, a lot of people were like, why is he in there fighting for the kickboxing championship? DiBella's gonna outclass him, all this stuff. And Daniel Williams, he's tough as nails. He was getting lit up by that lead hook from DiBella, but man, he was in there, man. He's a savage. I'm a big fan of Daniel Williams, and the leg kicks he was landing, he landed a couple punches of his own up there. But this was the walkout I want to tell you about. You didn't watch the walkout. He's walking out to like Italian, like Godfather music. And he's just wearing this shirt as he just walks out slow. And there were some people hating on it. I thought it was fucking awesome.
Giovanni
yeah.
DiBella.
So
dude, that's sick.
Dude.
You don't have a clip of it?
We do, but we can't play with audio. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay, no worries.
And the music.
Dude, the thing that I loved about the first couple rounds is that not one wanted to let the other one get one up, right? So like one of them would land something, another one responded immediately, even if they left themselves open, but they wanted to show the other one like, hey, dude, like you're gonna catch me with something, but I'm gonna get you right back right away. DiBella, when was he dropped? He was dropped once, right?
I think it was more of a trip, right? Did they call it a knockdown? I don't remember.
I don't remember, but I know Williams was dropped. So, I mean, they're both hurting each other. But in the fifth round, DiBella really starts focusing a lot more on the thigh and with shots to the body. And I think that's where it was really like, okay, there's a pretty big difference here in skill level when it comes to striking.
You could see like the way he like whips his punches is just different than Williams does, like that lead hook that he lands. It's just is a classic boxer's punch.
Backs, man.
I know, dude.
This is insane.
Shredded. But dude, look at also in this picture. Yeah, look in this picture. Look at the back of his thigh. That mark there is from the outside leg kick from the other side, wrapping around and hitting his other leg. There was a point where he just kept walking forward. He was like refusing to check the leg kicks from Williams, and there was a time where he was throwing at him, and Williams just stood there and was just like trying to chop a tree down. He threw like 4 kicks in a row to that leg, and it was all blue and battered. Like there was like 10 inches below and above his knee that was just like massacred. And then in the post fight, Mitch was like, "How do you feel? How's your leg?" And he's like, "Oh, my dad kicks me all the time."
Oh yeah. I was like, that's interesting. Yeah. But it was a fun fight, man. I
Yeah.
still have to say, because this was the kickboxing, right?
Yeah.
I still take
It's not
Muay
Muay
Thai
Thai.
with the small gloves.
It's not Muay Thai.
Still taking Muay Thai with small gloves, dude. Hard to beat. Hard to beat after you watch some bangers in Muay
Yeah,
Thai with the small gloves. It's
seriously,
like,
dude.
ugh. Maybe let's just focus on that,
Yeah, they're
But
doing their damnedest.
all right. Let me see. What is the next fight we're gonna cover? Natawat versus Tawanchai.
Yeah, Smokin Jo versus Tawanchai. Blunderbubb says DeBella is a scary man. Looked totally unbothered. Yeah, the leg never phased him, and it looked disgusting. But yeah, Tawanchai versus Smokin Jo. Dude, I wanted a Smokin Jo upset so bad. I'm not going to lie. I'm a big Tawanchai fan. This was originally supposed to be the main event. It was supposed to be Tawanchai versus Superbon. Superbon tore his calf. Everybody said he ducks. He ducked him. So he posted the MRI, and it looks like someone took a knife and went down the middle of his calf. It is so gnarly. I don't know.
That
I
bad?
honestly don't know. I don't know. I'll try to find a picture. Or Rich, maybe if you could look up like Superbon calf muscle and see if you
X-ray?
can find that MRI.
MRI.
Yeah, but I honestly don't know like how he's gonna look when he comes back because it is bad, dude. But yeah, this fight, Smokin Jo, everyone's like on 2 weeks notice, whatever it was, week and a half, 2 weeks. This is a tall order, huh? Tawanchai is just finishing everybody like by like literally breaking their bones. He's got that femur that he cracked with the leg kick, and then he broke. Who was his last fight where he broke his arm with the high kick? He blocked the high kick and it shattered his elbow.
Oh, jeez.
You don't remember that?
No, dude, I can barely remember what I did yesterday.
Kyria. David Kyria. Yeah. And then he broke Yusupov's leg with the. So that's him getting the MRI. Oh, yeah, dude. Look at this.
Oh.
Look at that tear in his calf. I mean, the mouse. That is
Thanks,
so
Rich.
gnarly, dude.
Fantastic work from Rich there.
Yeah. But Smokin Jo comes in, dude. And he put it to him. That's the toughest test for a while now that Tawanchai's had. Some people are saying it was robbery. I think Tawanchai probably still won it. But Smokin Jo had him out on the back foot there in that second round. He landed some big shots.
Smokin Joe's straight right was landing quite a bit, and it was mainly when Tawanchai would come in with those combos because he has those quick combos up top. Dude, I love Tawanchai's boxing, dude. Money.
It's
And
really
I know that
cool.
he has those solid kicks, but dude, Smokin Jo landed some heavy leg kicks and that straight right, even though he was coming in pat, 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 pat from the other side. It's just like, yep, think straight back.
Yeah.
But dude, again, another fun fight to watch. Tawanchai, I feel like I've watched him now like probably like 3 or 4 times since I've started watching one. How active is this guy? Why is he? Does he fight every weekend?
So active. They're all so active. I would have liked to see this one also in as a Muay Thai fight in 4-ounce gloves rather than kickboxing.
Yes.
But man, Smokin Jo, a lot of people didn't give him like any chance in this one. The fact that he took a round from him and on some people's scorecards won the fight, I thought it was fucking awesome, dude. This is a fun fight, dude. Especially in Lumpini, the crowd's going crazy and stuff. Anytime the round ended and Tawanchai would walk back to his corner and like put a hand up, the crowd just like goes crazy.
Erupt. Yeah.
Tawanchai's a superstar, dude.
Really? He's that big over there?
Yeah. Like to the point where I saw someone who was there talking about who was there was like, dude, after the Tawanchai fight, like a lot of people left. There's still 2 title fights after it.
Oh, dang, man.
He's massive, dude. He's massive.
That's badass. Does he speak English?
Decently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Superbon actually is one of the better English speakers from like the Muay Thai guys. But yeah, it's cool to see Tawanchai kickboxing, trying to do both.
There it is.
So good.
All right. Before that, we had your boy Musumeci versus Aoki.
Versus my other boy, the legend, Shinya Aoki.
Yeah.
Dude. Go ahead.
No, dude, I was just going to say, Mikey is quickly becoming one of my favorite fighters to watch.
Yeah, dude.
And I never thought I would say that about somebody that's just in
just doing
submission
jiu-jitsu.
fighting, just doing jiu-jitsu. But he's a very interesting guy You see him with his glasses and his posture that's kind of, goofy. And he looks like a really nice, respectful kid. And then, he's always looking to start off his back. He's so dangerous off his back. He kind of like just lifts his leg up to Shinya Aoki just a couple times, just like telling him like, dude, take the bait, man, take the bait, and Aoki's like, okay. And like he grabs his leg and barely pulls it. Musumeci is flat on his back at that point, just like grabbing onto anything he can grab onto. And I was like, oh no, this is not good for Aoki.
Well, he did a good job. So like Mikey works in the K guard a lot, right? Where you get the knee shield up, the high knee shield, and you need to turn on your side and hook their far side leg, whatever's closest to your head, right? Because you're turning your side, you get the high knee shield. But Aoki was like framing on him and blocking him from being able to shoot his arm under his leg to hook it, get that underhook. And then you see like just the little things, like Mikey gets up on his elbow, the arm that he wants to shoot under, he gets up on that elbow to lift up. Aoki's framing on his chest, so now when he sits up, the arm comes down a little bit, it slips off his chest, and then he shoots the arm and he gets that. I mean, just really cool stuff from Musumeci to get Aoki with an Aoki lock, the heel hook, like that's Aoki's bread and butter, dude. That's what he made a career out of, with the rainbow spats back in the day. It was cool, and to see the mutual respect between the guys. But yeah, Mikey, just little things like getting to the I forgot what it's called. So this where he gets the submission here. Normally, you go for a heel hook, right? And you want your foot on the ground with your shin kind of like in their crotch, right, in between their legs, so that they can't sit up. That's how you control them. And then the outside leg controls the hips a little bit, pushes the hips back. Now he gets this like you see the inside leg gets like the butterfly from the outside. You see that? His left leg. And his right leg's not inside. It's not inside his like on his crotch. Just cool shit, dude. Really cool shit.
And I love the way that he's just so surgical, and it's just focuses on one thing before he moves on to another. And that's, it's one of the toughest things to do in jiu-jitsu, because while you're going through and you're trying to secure something, the other person, of course, is trying to defend it. But he stays just so laser focused on just making sure that he accomplishes that very next step before he moves on to the next thing. He doesn't give up on it super early. And I love how he went like stomach down on the leg, and he like just to make sure that he had a solid grip on Aoki's leg, right? And he uses his back legs to pull and extend his legs at the exact same time to make sure that he straightened that leg out, because Aoki kind of had it tucked in a little bit. And then the way that he rolled onto his back from there, and when he rolled, like he already rolled with the ankle kind of tucked into his pit, his armpit. And I was like, dude, like just move by move. Like I never thought I'd be saying this, and I'm like talking about Musumeci's grappling, but I went back and I watched this. I rewinded it again like 3 or 4 times just on his setup, because it was so beautiful, man.
Dude, it was sick. Yeah, the way he ended up getting 2 K guard to attack the heel hook, and then you see that like outside butterfly, and it's cool because there's no you can't really, like, if you're defending, you can't grab his feet, to like try to pull his legs off, and then you can sit up, things like that. Like, like it's just such a cool entry to that submission, because you got that butterfly hook. Your leg is hooked there. You can't grab, like as a defender, you can't grab it, pull it to the side, get it, whatever. It's really cool. Monster Tony says bro is banking with these 50K bonuses for grappling, and that's the other thing that's so cool, dude. There's not a lot of money, in competitive jiu-jitsu. Genevieve says, I really hope he doesn't move to MMA. I don't think I can handle watching Mikey's sweet face get punched. I don't want to see it either.
Yes, I don't want to see it either. I don't want. I'd be heartbroken.
He keeps getting these bonuses, dude. Like, why would you, man? We don't need it.
Yeah.
I know he like Blender was talking about he's training Muay Thai and stuff. The videos are, I mean, great. Grow your skill set and stuff, but like, please, I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it. He seems like a nice guy. And then the post-fight interview, one of the best post-fight interviews that I've heard in a while, man. Like, he just talks about the fact that he was really sick. He was in the hospital. He's like, man, I didn't think I was going to make it. I was ready to call, but then I was like, no, I'm going to fight.
Hydration.
Yeah, I told him I was going to be there. I'm going to be there. And what did he say? I wrote down here, let me see, push back the feelings and push through it. That's when you get better.
Yeah.
right? And that just in so many things in life, not just in
Mhm.
fighting, but you get nervous. You think you can't, do a presentation, you can't do this, you can't do that. And you're like, dude, just let me push through these feelings. I'm gonna get through this, and on the other side, you're gonna come out better for it, right?
Yeah.
But just the way that he said it, man, was so awesome. The way that he gave Aoki all the respect in the world.
Yeah.
Afterwards,
that was cool. I mean, he's a legend.
man,
dude.
and then he said, "I hope I made jujitsu exciting for you, and that you don't make it your bathroom break."
Oh man.
When he said that, I was like, dude, I love this guy, man. I
Yeah,
freaking love
same.
Mikey Musumeci, dude. I'm a huge fan. Again, never thought I'd be saying that, especially when it's mixed in with, think about it. One has some of the best striking in the world. You have
Yeah.
Muay Thai with the small gloves,
Mhm.
right?
You
You
guys
have
like
absolute
Super
savages.
Bond and Tawanchai, Super Leg,
And Rodtang and
Alhassan.
Super Leg and
Yeah.
Tawanchai, and then you throw Mikey Musumeci in the mix,
Darth
and
Rigatoni.
yet here I am, and I think this is the most time and the most passion I've got talking about somebody so far from the fights that I watched. I love Mikey Musumeci, man. I am a fan.
Yeah.
Put him on every weekend. 50 G's a week, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I think there's one more fight we're gonna cover, right? Before we
Yeah,
move
we're
on
gonna skip
to
a
LFA.
couple. Yeah, there's some big ones. Yukin got knocked out. There were some fun fights. Tetsuka got a cool armbar. But we're gonna talk about Phetjeeja because there's a storm
Phetjeeja
coming.
versus Hansen, right?
Yeah, dude. Look, Hansen got a contract on One Friday Fights. She's great. She's got a cool game where she's got that high guard and she'll blast you with counters. And yeah, just stiff, right? It's there.
But smiling. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's like
dude.
a nervous thing or whether, but I was like, she just got clocked right on the nose.
Yeah,
She's bleeding
and she just
profusely, and this chick's just smiling back at
yeah,
Phetjeeja,
dude. Phetjeeja is this
She's
got added to the
dangerous.
card. Yeah, this got added to the card like 2 days prior. I don't know if they knew the fight was going to happen and then they just waited to announce it or what. Maybe it was supposed to be on Friday Fights, then they bumped it up. I don't know what happened, but they add this fight and it's like, okay, maybe Super Bond when he pulled out, they were like, we need another like upcoming star or something on here because, dude, Phetjeeja just does not stop. It is just an onslaught. And if your game is to have that high guard and to counter off of it, you're almost never going to get an opportunity. She did in the first round where she landed a nice left hook on Phetjeeja as she was coming in. But after that, it was all
That was
Phetjeeja.
it.
And she was stuck, dude. She couldn't go anywhere because she's mixing up the body shots, the straights, the elbow, the hooks.
She was a walking
mean,
punching bag after that. I wouldn't
Yeah,
say punching bag, actually. Like the reflex bags where you hit it and it bounces back at you, but you know that you're not in danger. That was
Yeah.
it.
I also wouldn't say walking. I mean, she was stuck, dude. Phetjeeja just walked her down. And I mean that with no disrespect, right?
No,
if
she
that's your
stepped off to the
style,
side a couple times.
yeah, but I mean, if that's your style, you're not going to get time to do it, against someone like Phetjeeja. It'll work. I mean, it worked. It got her a $1,000 contract, but Phetjeeja's different, dude.
Yeah.
She's just, she just walks you down, dude. And it's only a matter of time until people are going to be talking about her like they talk about Rodtang, it's just a matter of time.
Dang.
Dude,
Also, like a great performance from Phetjeeja. Felt bad for Hansen. She was just busted up, man, and I mean,
yeah,
busted. And but she was still smiling through the entire thing.
She's still
and then,
smiling, dude. That's the game,
dude. At the end, they're interviewing Phetjeeja, and I'm like, is that right? 206-6, 206 victories and 6 losses.
There's more than a handful of guys on that list in that win column. For a while, they couldn't find girls to fight her. Not one, but like as she's coming up, they couldn't find girls. She's just beating the brakes off dudes. She's a savage, man.
Cost there, man.
Yeah,
what a pose.
The boss.
Yeah, one of the best refs in the game for sure.
Yeah, really good.
All right, man. Well, that was it for a One Fight Night 15 on Prime.
Yeah, we have 6 minutes to cover the last thing we're going to cover.
Yeah, so the other thing we're going to cover, we had a friend of the podcast headlining an LFA event. We had Landry Ward going up against Alfred Walker. Will, your boy was there.
Boy was
I was
there.
there.
I should have got a screenshot ready. While you talk about it, I might actually try to find you on that because you were front and center. Pretty cool.
Dude, I had probably the best seats I've ever had going to any type of live event ever. And I almost felt like I was walking out with your boy, Landry Ward, because I was
Yeah,
right
dude.
there. Like while they were checking him, checking his gloves, making sure he had his cup on, I was like right next to him. But dude, again, when I went to the LFK fight or LSK fight, LSK fight, Landry's the Lone Star kid goes by LSK, in Belton, Texas, you could hear the energy, the crowd. It was going nuts. Now move him over here to Dallas, Texas. He grew up in Fort Worth, right? So I mean, the crowd was just filled with Lone Star Kid fans all over the place, family, friends.
LSK.
Chanting LSK, sick. Dude. It was an amazing crowd. And Landry came out, a good footwork in the beginning, mixing in his takedowns as well.
That's what really stood out to me is like the complete game. There's times you watch him fight and he gets a finish with the knees, right? It drops him with the knees, lands the hammer fist, right? Stuff like that. But his ability to like land these straight shots, be off the center line, shoot it on takedowns when you think he's about to strike, get underneath some strikes and get that takedown, drop him real quick, they're right back up. He's landing shots again. Like and the body kick. Oh my God. Like, watching him go through that process and picking his shots, straight punches, body kicks, takedowns, just mixing it up so you just don't know what's coming. Like, it's clear that the future is very bright,
Yeah, absolutely, man. Plus, he's also fighting out of Kill Cliff, right?
Yeah.
And the thing that I've also thought about with Landry is it's the consistency, where he's been training with Navarro for quite some time already, ever since he was over here in Fort Worth. Navarro goes over to Florida. Landry goes over there with him. So there's that consistency in coaching that he's had, which a lot of fighters don't have all the time, right? Like they have that connection. So that it's going to be good. But first round, hands down, Landry Ward.
Oh, without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Second round comes along, right? And what'd you think of the second round?
Second round was close, man. That was like you said, first round, it was almost all Landry. It seemed like he was almost unhittable. He was picking his shots, throwing the body kick, getting the takedown, like just really good mixed martial arts. Second round was a little bit closer. Walker started stuffing the takedown a little bit, defending it, but the fact that he was just still entering and making him think like, hey, you got to be ready for this. It's just another thing to think about for the whole fight. Mixing it up. I don't know. They don't do like striking stats, I don't think, for LFA, but I thought I thought Landry did enough to take that second round.
So did I. And I wasn't sure whether I was just being biased. That's why I asked you first. What do you think about the second round? We haven't talked about it since, right?
Yeah.
It was competitive, more competitive than the first round, yes, but I still thought Landry did enough, landed enough shots, more significant shots to take the second round as well. Your boy was also an old fashioned and a few Jack and Cokes in at that point in time. I was like Conor McGregor in Tough, like just pacing back and forth, like yelling, like Shabalok, just like yelling random.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah, that was me. That was me. That was your boy. And then the third round comes around.
Yeah, and I thought also, real quick, like if it's an even match, right, unified scoring and stuff like that, even if you say the striking was like dead even, the like it's not an octagon, right? But the cage control from Landry, like he was the one walking him down the entire time, had Walker up against the fence a lot of the time. He was pressuring. So even if you say like, yeah, the strikes were even, then it's Landry. And I don't think Walker outstruck him in that second round. And I mean, that with no disrespect, I'm pretty high on Walker too. He looked really good. But yeah, I thought at least 1 and 2 for sure. Well, for sure 1. 2 was close, but I think with the scoring criteria, you kind of gotta give it to Landry. Third round, I thought
was
Walker probably took that one. Yeah, I thought this was
I don't think he probably took it. I think he took it clearly, man. At this point, Walker started landing the jab a lot more, and he was working off the jab, right? And we still had the pressure from Landry, but at this point, Walker didn't seem like he was trying to do too much other than just land the jab and evade, land the jab and evade. Which probably, not probably. He did win the round, but I still had him going at the end 29-28 for Landry. That's what I had.
That's what I had too. 29-28. One of the judges gave Walker 30-27, and that to me is insane.
That's guy insane. Must be from Oklahoma, because this was the beginning for anybody that watches college football. This was the kickoff for Red River rivalry, where it's OU versus Texas. It's a yearly game. It's super popular over here in Texas, and so you had Alfred Walker from Oklahoma. You have Landry Ward from right here in DFW in Dallas-Fort Worth. And so this was the kickoff to the Red River rivalry, right? And so that judge
about that
must have been from Oklahoma. That went 30-27, Alfred Walker. And if he was, screw that guy. Either way, terrible judging, 30-27. What are you watching? That first round was clearly Landry, dude.
Yeah, there's no debate. I thought 1 and 3 were the clearest rounds, obviously. I thought Walker, at the end of the third round, started tagging Landry a little bit. He kind of figured out his head movement a little bit at the very end of that third round, and that was probably enough to really sway that round. But the first round I thought was clear Landry, and the second round, like I said, it was competitive. But the pressure, I don't know.
So Landry goes through. Landry goes through and posts something here. He says the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at the time of challenge and controversy.
Hell yeah, dude.
Right. So very classy of Landry there. We did have Kevin Holland there, and he offered some words of wisdom. Dude, I'm telling you, I was right there, right? And Kevin Holland was like, look, man, come over here, dude. He pulls him over, and he tells, oh, look at that. Right, that's your boy right there, dude.
Is that a story of the fight shirt? Can people get
that? Is a story of the fight shirt, dude. Yeah, that's your boy right there. Look at that. With the Landry Ward hat on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but Kevin Holland talks to him and tells him, like, hey, man, this was me in your position not that long ago, where I was coming up, took on a couple losses, but essentially, like, look at me now, everything's going to be okay. Just keep on doing what you're doing, right? So I thought it was awesome of Kevin Holland to step in at that moment when he didn't have to and offer those words of wisdom. So still huge fans of Landry Ward, the man who just happens to be a fighter, friend of the podcast, right? So we still got your back for sure, Landry. Still got your back, dude.
I mean, and like, look, it's a loss in a main event spot.
The same boxing. The same boxing.
Literally doesn't matter, right? Like, obviously, like, it would have been cooler if he won. I'm sure he wishes that he won that fight, but he didn't get knocked out. It was a very close, controversial decision. It was split, right? One of the judges gave Landry 29-28.
One of the judges gave 29-28 Landry.
It's really nothing. If anything, it's just learning, right? It's stuff you can learn from this. The future is still very bright. And like I said, especially in that first round, you can see all of the recipe for like a great fighter. You can, the way he's mixing things up. I was like, because we've seen him fight before and we've seen him blow through guys before, which is impressive and stuff like that. But that first round, I was like, dude, Landry is complete. He is complete,
for sure.
So yeah, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, and then I just wanted to give an honorable mention as well to Kevin Hernandez, who walks out with our boy Derwin Lamb.
I saw that too.
Lamb, Lamb striking. Kevin Hernandez, another one of those local prospects, Will. I called that Landry Ward years ago. I'm telling you right now about Kevin Hernandez. This guy's the real deal as well. And, dude, look.
Got the sub, right?
Yes, got the sub.
Did he fight the last Texas card too?
He did. He fought in Belgium as well.
I remember that. I shouted
and he had a very good showing there as well. Too. Yeah. Dude, so
was it also arm triangle?
I can't remember if it was an arm triangle.
I feel like he might have got arm triangle again.
Is that just his go-to or what? Arm triangle choke against Javier Cepeda, and now he got arm triangle choke against Joseph Camacho. Hey, fantastic memory, Will.
Dude, well, because I remember specifically, his performance, obviously, but also just seeing him walk out with Derwin, I was like, oh, yeah, automatic boy right here.
Yeah.
That's the boy.
You know how, like, you feel like sometimes, like, something just clicks for fighters sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
So he's going through, by the way, that's his third arm triangle win. But his last 4 fights, rear naked choke, TKO, arm triangle choke, arm triangle choke. He has 4 finishes in a row. Your boy is on fire.
Warpath.
So, oh, absolutely, man. And then on the way out, I saw Derwin, and I said hi to Derwin, of course. Derwin is also a friend of the podcast.
Was he the first first coach we had, right?
First coach we
maybe the
interviewed.
only coach we've had.
Might be actually first in the last one we had, yeah. But
I was so nervous when we had him on before because I think he might have been our second ever interview. I think Frank Camacho was before that, and then Derwin was after that. Bro, I was like freaking the fuck out. I was like,
so Derwin, also the striking coach for Kevin Holland. As Kevin Holland was moving up, moves into the UFC. I don't know what happened, right? But they kind of went their own directions.
Brought him back too, not for the last fight, but the fight before that. I think Lamb was in his corner.
Yep. So you have Derwin Lamb, you have a CD Powertrain, which is also a big part of the DFW training system. But I told Derwin, I was like, man, dude, you're so underrated, man. Like by the end of things, right? If everything goes down the way I think it will go down, at the end, he's going to be considered one of the best striking coaches in the United States, if not the world. But dude, that guy's money, man. Anybody that he spends time with, you could see a huge improvement.
No, 100%, dude. You can see, and just like his, I don't know, like his mentality about it was just so cool, you know. Like, yeah, he seems like such a good dude, and like you said, I mean, it's no. Look, it'd be one thing if Kevin Holland, got to the UFC, stopped calling him, all that stuff. The fact that he wasn't in his corner after that, then he came back into his corner, like the fact that that's even in consideration, clearly the guy knows what he's doing. There's former UFC fighters going to him, trying to figure out what to do if they when they get cut from the UFC, stuff like that. You know, like, yeah, he knows what he's doing. It's cool seeing him in there.
So again, shout out to Landry Ward, shout out to Kevin Hernandez and Mr. Derwin Lamb over here. But it was a fun night of fights. It was a fun night of fights, man. It was a really, really good card. A lot of excitement, a little bit of everything. So I had a really good time, man. LFA fights, those are fun to go to, dude. So fun to go to because you still get to see some really high level fighting, but you're not paying $5,000 for cage side seats.
Yeah, seriously.
The drinks aren't $1 million.
Monster Tony says thoughts on Cyborg talking about retiring in Japan next fight. When I first started watching in the late 2000s, she was the face of female MMA and is still so dominant today. She deserves more respect. 100%. The UFC did her dirty multiple times. But yeah, Bellator 300, she gets the win. Sakaki Bara was there, and he was saying that he's talking to Scott Coker about
Coker. That's a good
potentially collabing. Yeah, potentially collabing again. Rise in Bellator for New Year's Eve, for the New Year's Eve show, because Japan MMA New Year's Eve is fucking awesome. If Cyborg can retire on a New Year's Eve in Japan, that's like,
oh, that'd be amazing.
That's a great moment, dude, for MMA.
Right here, dude.
Oh right here. Look at that
autograph picture, Chris Cyborg.
I got one of those too. You sent me one.
I did. Dude, you guys still got to send me the Diaz one. Don't tell me it's right there, dude. Oh my god. You know how long I've been waiting for that, Will?
How do you ship stuff? I don't even know, dude.
Through the mail.
I need to get a house, dude, where I can have a cool wall where I can put all this stuff up.
Just get an envelope, put that sucker in the envelope, Will, and ship it to your boy, okay?
What if it gets damaged, dude?
No, but that's why you get look, we'll talk about it later, okay?
See,
dude?
now it's a whole big thing. That's why.
Oh man, hey, but that's all I got. What do we have next week?
Next week we got another Apex event. Could you imagine? It's UFC Vegas 81. 81. It's was it Sadiq Youssef versus Edson Barbosa?
Sadiq Youssef versus Edson Barbosa.
Oh, look at that. Sadiq Youssef, Edson Barbosa, Jennifer Maia versus Arujo in the co-main. Banger of a co-main, huh? Jonathan Martinez versus Yanez, another guy.
Oh, there we go. I'm excited to see Yanez.
Dude, that's like I don't know if Toasty's still in the chat, but if we're trying to make a Pokemon drop, that's Hitmonlee versus Hitmonchan right there. Michelle Phetjeeja versus Petrosky. I think, did Petrosky just pull out, or did he just fill in?
Did he?
Michelle Phetjeeja was supposed to fight somebody else.
Yeah, he's the one that just pulled out recently of his last fight.
No, but I think Petrosky just pulled out, or no. Marc-Andre Barrio was supposed to fight Michelle Phetjeeja. He pulled out like yesterday or the day before. And Petrosky hopped in. Edgar Chairez versus Daniel Lacerda. The rematch, right? That was a weird arm choke thing that happened.
Derek Damage Elkins, dude.
Cameron Simon versus Christian Rodriguez. That's a good prospect fight to watch right there. Elkins versus TJ Brown is good. Yeah, dude. Decent card.
Should be
That's an Apex
couple,
card for you right there.
Couple fun ones there. Yeah, we'll see. But hey, thank you, Monster Tony, Blunderbub, Genevieve, Toasty. Thank you all for joining us and chatting with us as we're going through and covering the fights. It always makes it so much better whenever you all join us. And for anybody else that might have just tuned in, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell when you do. That way you get notified whenever we do hop on, whether we go live to do a fight recap, whether we go live to do a fight companion, which we haven't done in a while, we should probably do one soon.
So busy all the time.
But yeah,
I want to.
We're trying to reach 9,000 subscribers. I think we were like 60 away.
We were at, what were we at when we started? Like 8 something.
I don't know.
I'll check it right now. I have
89.32. 89.32 is what we were at when we started.
89.32.
So super close to reaching that 9,000.
Since then, we've gotten one. Thank you, whoever you were. We're at 89.33.
Look at that, dude. At that pace, we'll reach 9,000 subscribers in no time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
just 70 more live streams.
That's it. But that's all I got. Do you have anything else, Will?
No, thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, and in case y'all didn't know, this podcast right here is actually produced by none other than Rich the Casual, Richard Bustos. There we go. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to another week of Story of the Fight.